Hi guys, it's April, and it's been a while since I've done a Top 5 Wednesday topic. Since we are in the middle of summer, and the middle of summer for a lot of people means road trips, the Top 5 Wednesday group decided to cover the topic of road trip books. It's actually a topic that I had been thinking about doing myself, but this gives me a nice short little format in which I can give you some book recommendations. Because once I started looking at my shelf, I realized I don't really have a lot of road trip books. So this sort of morphed into road trip / epic journey style books because, yes. And the funniest thing about this list is that a lot of the books on this list I have listened to while I was on road trips. So I thought that was oddly appropriate. But I'll stop babbling now and actually get into my list. I will also leave the information about Top 5 Wednesday down below in case you're interested in joining the group, or if you just want to find more on this topic, down below. All the information just down below. The first book I have to bring up is Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis. This is a book I vividly remember listening to on audiobook in voice theater format, which means each of these characters had a different actor portraying the voice. It was great. I love this book. This is part of the Narnia series. It's one of those ones that I heard out of order, but I still truly enjoy this book. You just get to see more of the Narnian world besides just Narnia itself. I like seeing that aspect, and there's a lot of characters in here that I truly love. I have to bring up The Odyssey by Homer. This is pretty much the story that started the whole epic journey story arc. Because I mean, really, it is one of the first and probably the longest stories that is still in existence now. I like seeing all the Greco-Roman-esque type mythologies come to life in this story. It is dark. It is very, very dark, and the wording kind of sometimes makes it kind of hard to get through, but I promise you, if you do decide to pick this up and you do make it through, you will understand a lot more about the journey arc and a lot about story plots that exist now. I don't know where else I was going with that, but The Odyssey. It's an Odyssey. Then I wanted to mention a new favorite, and that is The Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. This is the story of Lady Trent's early years as she first starts out traveling around the world studying dragons, so you can see where the road trip aspect of this story comes into play. I mean, she's traveling the world to find dragons. It's really good, trust me. It's set in a Victorian-esque era style England, so there's a lot of social things that Lady Trent is trying to deal with while becoming a dragon expert, I guess you could call her. So I did just the journey, both through character and through physical space. I like this book. And in the same vein, I want to mention Prudence by Garrick Carriger. This is also a Victorian England style book, but this one has werewolves and vampires. So I like apparently things that are set in Victorian England that have supernatural elements to it. This one is full of sass, it's full of wit, it is hilarious to the extreme, and it is the story of Prudence who takes an airship and starts traveling around the world. She doesn't necessarily have any rhyme or reason to all the things she decides to do, she just wants to get out there, she wants to see the world, and this is the start of her journey, and it's hilarious. So if you like strong females who just don't put up with anything and have all kinds of sassy little comebacks, this book. Right here. And last but not least, a book I am pretty sure is going to be on a lot of people's list for this, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This is the story of a theater troupe traveling around a dystopian styled US, just trying to survive and continue on. Now this is a book I actually started reading to my mother on a road trip, so there is a lot of sentimentality in this book for me, but the character development in this story and just seeing how it flips before and after the apocalyptic event that happens in this story, it's interesting to see how all of the pieces start to fit together, how all of these characters start to fit together. It's basically a character-driven story about a lot of these characters who are in this troupe, and I really, really liked it. So those are my top 5 road trip books. Probably safer to call them their top 5 journey books, but that's okay. Tell me down below what your favorite road trip book, be that a book you love listening to while on a road trip or a story about a road trip. Just tell me down below, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.